Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Xiaoling, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at some basic tips and tricks for beginners in Ghost Recon Wildlands. These tips aren't in any particular order of importance, just a bunch of stuff that I thought might be useful for some of the newer players in the game to know. So without further ado, let's get started. So first up, we have weapons and weapon parts. If there are any weapons or weapon parts that you are wanting that you don't already have, all you need to do is mouse over the weapon, and just above the stats box where it shows you your accuracy, your range and all that kind of thing, you can see the zone in which this weapon will be located. And the same applies for weapon parts. All you need to do is go into your gun itself, go to the part that you want that's locked, mouse over it, and it'll show you what zone you need to go into in order to unlock that particular weapon part. Once you've done that, all you need to do is travel to the zone, grab two intels, because the first one won't show you weapon parts but the second one will, and then make your way to that particular weapon part. Next up, we have medals. You'll notice next to very many of the skills in the game there is a little star icon, which is a medal. The medal increases the bonus of the skill in addition to the points that you put into it. So if you don't have enough skill points and you don't have enough resources, you can always find the medal in order to get a small bonus to that particular skill until you do have the resources and skill points to improve the skill further. And this works very much the same way as weapon parts do. All you need to do is mouse over the medal itself and it will tell you what zone you can find those particular medals in. There are special outfits as well. These are basically templates, so these are all customizable. You can select the template you want and change the look of your character for that particular slot, and it will save it so you can on the fly switch between different looks of your character depending on what mood you're in. There are a number of rebel support abilities that you can call in, and the majority of these are usually best called in from your drone. And the reason I say this is that the drone allows you to get a better overall view of the base that you're wanting to attack, and therefore you can call in a better area to spot with, or you can call in a more accurate mortar strike. It's not always easy when you are on your character itself to call in mortar strikes because you can't often get the line of sight that you want, and on top of that you'll also be exposing yourself to danger. So generally it's better to stay behind cover, send up your drone, and then call in these specific support abilities. The next tip is probably pretty self-explanatory, but the fastest way to break line of sight in Ghost Recon Wildlands is to go prone. Especially if you have points in the detection skill tree, you'll be surprised how close you can actually be to an enemy while lying prone before they can actually see you. If you want to assault a base, going in at night is generally a better idea. Not only because you have the cover of darkness on your side, which makes it harder for them to spot you, but there generally are also less guards because a lot of them are sleeping. Which leads me to my next point. Getting thermal vision is relatively important. I'd suggest picking it up as soon as you can. It is invaluable in helping you with assaults in dark areas or nighttime assaults, since night vision doesn't always provide you with clear information for taking shots as thermal vision does. And connected to everything that we have been talking about is the ability to change the time of day. Unfortunately, there is no easy way to change the time of day. You are going to have to use the fast travel function in order to do that. The time passed when fast traveling depends on the distance traveled. So the further you travel, the more time is going to pass. So as an example, if you travel from the bottommost teleport point to the topmost teleport point in the game, it passes around about 13 hours. Let's talk about gathering resources. Resource gathering is relatively important in Ghost Recon Wildlands since you need resources to upgrade all of your skills. There are a number of ways to get resources in the game. Obviously, searching buildings will give you small amounts of resources. Doing some of the side missions like stealing helicopters or stealing planes will net you a fair amount of resources as well. But I'll say that by far the best way to get resources is to take out convoys, since convoys can spawn with up to 5,000 of any particular resource. The difficulty of the convoys is obviously going to depend on the region that you're in. These defenses range from 2 escorts to 2 escorts with miniguns to 2 escorts with miniguns and a helicopter as well. Now there are a number of ways obviously that you can take out these convoys because the game allows you to approach any situation however you want. I'd recommend against using mines though, because convoys usually travel on roads that are frequented by civilian vehicles as well, and what usually ends up happening is civilian vehicles will detonate your mines before the convoy even arrives. The other approach is to use C4. If you place them correctly, you can take out both the front and the back escort vehicle. And then usually the convoy truck itself will try to escape and you'll have to chase him down. I would say that the most effective way I've found so far in dealing with convoys is the EMP drone. If you have enough radius on it, you can take out basically the entire convoy. You can bring it to a standstill, and then you can just come out from cover and start gunning down all the men individually, and there's far less to worry about that way. And then also you don't damage the convoy, and you won't lose half of your particular resource. Upgrading the vehicle damage skill is also a very useful thing to do in the game, since it allows you to destroy vehicles relatively quickly, especially if you are using heavy damage sniper rifles or light machine guns. The thing I do want to mention about this particular skill, and I know I spoke about this in my beginner skill guide as well, is that when you put silencers on weapons, the damage remains the same, but the weapon penetration is reduced. In cases where you've put points into the vehicle damage and you have a silence on and you're wondering why your weapon just doesn't seem to be doing as much damage to the vehicle as it does without a silencer, is because the weapon lacks penetration. A little bit of a bonus information here, not really a tip I suppose, but you'll notice that in game your guns suffer from wear and tear. So, you know, when you're crawling around and you start to use them a lot, you'll notice that the paint starts to come off and there's all kinds of scratches and marks on your guns. You can renew the paint job on each of your guns. All you need to do is go into your loadout, right click on the gun and press R, and then you'll get a whole new shiny coat of paint on your guns. But anyway guys, I think that wraps it up for this particular video. If you have any questions, as usual, you can let me know in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe, you know, all the usual stuff. I've been Xiaoling, and I'll see you guys next time.